sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nominations. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious unsurpassed, perfect completion of life. All other sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nominations. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious unsurpassed, perfect complete enlightenment. All other sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nominations. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious unsurpassed, perfect complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings, and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings, and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings, and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all other sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness for the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from passion and aversion. May all other sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from passion and aversion. May all other sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. An infinite array of worlds, each with four aspirations now and times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the self-grasping. Completely liberated from the bonds of the real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and dividing, coming and going, affirmation and denial, the supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddha. to the Guru, the utter purity of all appearance and existence. I offer all appearance and existence risen from the primordial ground. I supplicate you, may the three realms be completely liberated. Please grant blessings to empty samsara from its depths. Lord of five magician wisdoms, crown ornament, divine one flowing in nature, precious protector of beings, heart of all Buddhas, inexpressible by words of thought, I supplicate you from the core of my mind. Let us make one within the state of Dharmata. Let us make to realize this mind, primordially pure and unborn, as the unfathomable Dharmakaya. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma according to the dispositions and mental processes of sentient beings.
Garchen 다른 상제바 드라케 람테 다베네코 그 냠리나 요바리 내가랑 소양 다자가 동바양 다바조 상제 데니케 지슨랑네 데니 디 취데 냠슬린 킨 베차네 데니 토마르당마랑 속에 박차 참 저부치도 데니 마랑 참하게 장초크셈 제 곰나 삼성 데니 장초크셈 게 다다 민가 장초크셈을 뭐제데 간다 짜침보인 바당 이거 가장 맞죠 자긴 같이는 뭐제게 공력에 냠냠된 보고네 인당된 보고네 말한소라 사취 랑니 바송 심바레 데니트라니 말한소게 린직도 데카라 공 데스잖아 데나스 삼성 데니스 장초그 셈데 가장 롬보지 그 숨바나이 알아서게 데니 냠슬람바이나 데니 람데라 노와탄 트루아미바 데니 양다블람 데나임바리 데니 다 양 가상 롬보체 그 숨버케 야당데 그게 말아서 림바지 레라와 간자 된다 요바이나 드니 다 장족sen 세와데 강다양 임핑글로지 리도와 된다 안가랑서 다낭티 몰랑네 똥바리 만남과다냥 베심진 탐지 대화의 대효 세제다들 차대 요바르와 장족sen 라데 안테니 다 tereng 속에 다다 공제분내가 소양 되니 만나가 되는 것이 단지 대화의 대효 상다 꿀홍데 빙하나 enjoyaris 다 만나가 좀 그게 양다 소소게 만나가 라고요 그 중심으로 가능시나 되니 당하는 소라 아마테 samchima chapa cutting chimbo imbai teni marang chungmene cutting da hako thoni teni marang chu tatta ka social amala chetara zewa yo ba jindo teni sinjin thamchi marang so la cutting chimbo ri kains na marang so sanje ji kompang thogona teni sinjin me na sanje ji kompang thop thok me ba rewa teni teni tatta ka amala chetara zewa yo ba na jinke teni sinjin thamchi la 제와 세대 된대 담제 대화의 딩호 상호의 바리 양가해 다다 진람을 딘데 다다가 아마라 레와테저니 바 다요레 양 소소게 파단 레와야 보용기 바이나 파르 제와야 보용기나 양 파난 거다냐 비신진 탐제라나 데기로 바리스 양가해게 되니 로보다 로모를 제와야 보용기나 대인데 제 로보다 로모나 하다냐 신지 탐지 상 그런더라고는 인지나데 그 버리스 되니 대자마연 밖에 되니 즉 소소 그 제와야 밖에 타나 제도 힘을 나서 바탕이라다 제와 침보여로와 디나 인게 대 탐지 대나 마소가 한다와 지는 마소가 한다와 디나 인게 신지 탐지랑 대효 지효 삼년들하고 두고는 것도네 되네 산촌촌도 생 지로낭 쉐
Our teacher, the Buddha Shakyamuni, before he attained enlightenment, first in the beginning, he cultivated the supreme mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, and then in the middle he accumulated merit throughout many aeons, and then in the end he finally attained the state of complete enlightenment. And he attained enlightenment after having practiced and completed the path. And so now we have become the followers of this teacher, the perfect and complete Buddha. And now when we engage in Dharma practice following this path, to accumulate merit and to purify those obscurations, to place a good imprint into our mind, I thought of first meditating together on bodhicitta, cultivating bodhicitta. And we have, of course, received the instructions on that from Rinpoche also before. And we are familiar with, we know why we call it the precious bodhicitta and why it is so precious. And also yesterday, His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche really spoke from his own heart, from his experience, and gave us some very profound instructions on that. And now today I thought that we will reflect upon these instructions and meditate on these a little bit. So just according to how Rinpoche taught on the nature of bodhicitta yesterday, if we practice in just this way, according to these instructions, then we will not be mistaken on our path, and we will not run into confusions. We will walk an authentic path. And so, now, even though we have received Rinpoche's instructions, it is easy to forget some of those details of the instructions. But So that's why I thought we will meditate for some time on bodhicitta. And bodhicitta is in essence really an altruistic mind. And that actually we have already mentioned just before in the opening prayers, when we said, may all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. So that is this mind of bodhicitta that we meditate upon. And so we should engage in practice from within the state of such a motivation of wishing for the happiness of all mother sentient beings, limitless as space. And so then some people might also wonder why we speak about this mother sentient beings, limitless as space. It is because in general our mothers have been extremely kind to us. And when we bring to mind the kindness of our mother and all that love, and then remember that all sentient beings have actually also been my mother and also been very kind to me. And so in order to attain the state of enlightenment, if we wish to attain the state of enlightenment, this is the kind of mind state that we need to cultivate. Without that, we cannot actually attain that state of enlightenment. So we bring to mind the love of our mother and then think that all sentient beings have been that. And now due to various circumstances in this life, some people do not have a very good relationship with their mothers. They don't have much love for their mothers. But if you have love for your father, for example, then you can also think all father sentient beings, limitless as space. Or if you love your friend or your companion, like your boyfriend or girlfriend, you can think like all like boyfriend or girlfriend sentient beings, limitless as space. So you can think in this way, whoever you love, or at least even people love their pet animals like cats or dog very much. And then you can just think that all, like I want my dog to be happy, and so similarly I want all sentient beings, limitless as space, to be happy. So you cultivate a mind of bodhicitta in this way, in the beginning.
토지치 때문에 다 장축 셈 시바데 아가 깨직 점양 나랑 속에 양리시 더바이나 근데 그 수남데 빠드메바 요바레 근데 수남도 소나가 속에 대청고 요마레 데모고바 중심데 가르스나 산축 셈 시바데 아주 산지지 공판지 커보가 있나 랑가 때 산축 셈냐지 차도 요바레 대인도 문제 자와 조금 산지에 남다 니 개비신이 남바다 다들 주바게 개비신이 남바 용수 조바게 샤르지 송지 그때네 따라데 산족sem 장족sem데 되네 산지주 공판도야 kellam 민트마랑 와임바 다라 송요바레 나랑 수도소라 이치당 대바 띵부고 되네 다 장족sem 지주대배 Garchen Tene 남야준의 내 양세 다 레바치기요 당아랑다 대승자와 요가 단지가 대대년도 당아랑 같은 라지 톱네 야본도 상 남준 상쿠요 쇼바 말랑스야 이 세바다 냠도 가상은 보지 손손 티나 이 세바다 냠도 일단 맞소 그 코와 박찬조야 가진 것 쪽이요 그요를 간스나 막 트렌치 레고 여문은 막 나동물랑지 땅소 나나나 상역 상도 그런 것도 이 세바다냐 대그런 힘그 코로케 상으로데 톡도 다 사도 동을 그요 바로 디차도 이 세바다 냠도 장족 조도 셈지 장족 셈 중세의 공토가 있나 duntraje tang tene yana dutra khahes jine kale kele komshi chane tene ni seba da nyam de tene sanchok sen tin ba tara ke aso kongna laba major pe mut kanya yu mai sonro jerse hiwa la ke tene ni seba da nyam de sanchok sen de tin ta tara ji ta ba ina tene nima de ke tene junam tamchi 산축 선자를 세트바 대인도 tene tarate julan tamti gebalam jurtaba tendra ke sanjo sen de neba yoba pinyo yoba te jutsin de tene ngaran so nima da daware yunde je sanje ke salaya ta nyer roya ke tendra ke don la pochete tene sanjo sen ko de nyamle de ne yoko yoba inde tene tendra je tamna yobo yori te ngaran tendra je rewaje shira ins nambale Komna lava menjurpe komsna le metasang komna lava menjurpe mute kamya yu mai ta neke kom swaina ta leka kanalo ina ya lesa pochando ri
Thank you for that, for the meditation. And now when we are able to give rise to bodhicitta, even for just this moment, the merit is actually already boundless. And there is no need to have any doubts about that. Because if one wishes to attain the state of enlightenment, then the path of bodhicitta is really the one and only path. And this is the one thing that all the complete and perfect Buddhas of the past and all the spiritual masters and the teachers of the past have taught. And this is what all the teachers and the masters who are present now are saying, are teaching. It is just the meaning of bodhicitta. And in order to attain the state of enlightenment, this path of bodhicitta is really indispensable. So we can put our full trust and faith in that when we cultivate bodhicitta. And so this is actually a point I'm always making over and over again and I'm really requesting, especially also those that have a connection to practice in this way, and also this is how I do it myself. As Rinpoche mentioned yesterday, when we wake up in the morning, for example, normally we have these ordinary samsaric, these habitual imprints come up the moment we wake up. That's how we start our day. So we wake up and we think about what I'm going to do today, or what did I dream last night. But anyways, these thoughts of me arise instantly the moment we wake up. So it happens naturally because those habitual karmic patterns of samsara are very deep, very thick in our mind. So if we reverse this habit every time we wake up, instead of thinking of me, if we try to cultivate at least a little bit of bodhicitta, you slowly be habituated to that too. If you do that every morning, after like a week or a few weeks, your habit becomes stronger. And eventually you will be able to remember bodhicitta instantly the moment you wake up, effortlessly. Shantideva had said that whatever you habituate to becomes sort of second nature, eventually becomes very easy. Any activity can become easy once you have habituated to it. So if you make it this habit that every time you wake up from sleeping and you remember bodhicitta, then naturally all of your activities of that day will become infused with bodhicitta. And in that way all of these activities become a virtuous activity, a dharma practice. And that is the power and the benefit of just having given rise to bodhicitta. And in this way, day by day and month by month, we are coming closer and closer to the state of Buddhahood. So because the benefits are so vast, that is why I find it would be really excellent if we would make it a habit of remembering bodhicitta in this way every day.
Chitange tas tambichu nyamsune ya dela lam rimba mambo yobare te endu teni tatara maram skolro ina teni jewa ngoma kche letang sunam zambo yabo sapa la tine teni tatara maram sola teni tabi chutuba ke kawa sambo tena yo pare tendu ngarang tsuka tsamsam ngarang tsuka sunam de ha hogo yo re teya Garchen bore ngarang tsuka je sunam kandaga sakyo leka kandado lena sunam sakyo leka kandado lena dipa sakyo te ha hogo ya de Garchen bo chakyo re per sun zam chibayina ta chirang so sata ringtong ram ran tena payo bare ten de ta tena ta jabjin Garchen boje ke shanje teni jabjin Garchen boje ne ka chi shu teni papado wa so tenda chi lam rogi sam kulhong yo de zam de sam na bayina samjim machapake sunam chimpentore yonkuyore sunam nina tenda samno de kortoko yomarwa ten ende ta tena tse yonya la ten chile la pogo yontoko yomare perna namre yona namre ke zenyo yore lankor tana lankor ke nam la so patan yo somam botongo yore te tamje jumsin chisana tongko yore ndo sondoso toso zawela ma sharnji songtu teni soso nyam te nyamsele na yonko yobainde teni roson tam tawa chama de karelin jorno ko yusna teni jimbe parade simbalan jorno ko yore teni langane char yongba ne ka soya ko chanta digin na yin yong teni yin la nu ma jiba yinga langwa ne chewa ma je ba pinta na to ta thon ta pinta ma thon na nu ma ji de la na ne le yong ba de strong person cha lo yo re teni langwa ne yong bu ka so ye je cham sang ta pe na nam re na ri moda na ri je me let cha lo yang lo da da kan ne dang yo ra de so cham ma la zu ba bom da je ba na zu ba ra yi cha lo yo re teni de na yin ke ta je ta pe na de chu zo de la nga tam bi chu do na ro ge yin sam lo ya ga wa da to yo ba zun de person cha ko yo re zun de la ya te teni ge wa do ba la to yo ba te la zun de la ko yo ra teni de na yin ke teni de la lab sa ne ka so teni chu ni be ka sa na re ro do chu na tham ji teni so so ke teni tinghi ta payo sene atana se pana something ka par to simba cha ko yore teni ti ji ni ta so so ke o so so ke chu nam ron do chu nam samne cherso te da tham ji gewa ri da bi pa ni ron do yin na nu ji hyo do da mo do ta je tong teni te tham ji chama hira ka par sin na joro yore te indi maran so percent of the ranking ke chang to ko yo ba ta percent of the ranking ke nyam se nin to ko yo ba tendra de maran suna chimbo je yo re tendra suna chimbo yin ba ha ko go de Garchen baro tendra suna chimbo dos ta ti suna de meze par yang de suna de teni la lon su chu go ba yin na teni ti jo gewa teta ba yang su sa ba yo wa rin ma to ke yang gewa la ya te la ya khe teni no ma ze do wa ta tendra yo ba yin de teni tara tendra to ne ta sunam de la gawa ta pro wa gom to ne teni sunam de yang su sa go wa te ya Garchen mo cha pe
so now the fact that we come here to practice the Holy Dharma, consisting of many different levels, is actually all due to the merits that we have accumulated already in previous lives. It is because we have this merit from previous lives that now in this life we have this incredible fortune to be here and practice the Dharma. And sometimes it's important to remember that, to really recognize the great fortune that we have. That's also very important to remember. And then, since we speak about a great merit, it's also important sometimes to think about what that actually is. How do we accumulate merit? And based on which actions do I accumulate merit, and based on which actions do I accumulate negative karma, and so on. For example, many of you came from far away, from all over the place, and you came here with an intention to meet Garchen Rinpoche, to receive his teachings, and to practice in the Vajrakilaya Empowerment. And just to have that intention actually itself already is an incredible, great merit. Actually, if you wouldn't have that merit, you wouldn't even be able to think that way. You wouldn't even have that intention. It's not so easy to come here, actually. In order to come here, first of all, you have to get here. You have to buy a plane ticket, or you have to put gas into your car, and you have to come here. And why you come here is because of this intention, because you think that I want to meet the root guru and I want to hear his words, I want to practice here. And therefore you will not hold back and spare any expense that it takes to come here. And all of these expenses then become the perfection of generosity, a paramita of generosity. And then even while you're traveling here on the road, for example, if you're driving on the road, you are following the laws and you're trying not to harm anyone. And along the road, if you can help someone, then you will do that. And if you can't, then you will at least not harm them. So such heedfulness is the perfection of
ethical discipline. And so then sometimes also even on your way here already, things happen. For example, your flight is delayed and so on, and different things disrupt your journey. And then you practice patience, and that becomes the paramita of patience. And then you come here to the center and you engage in Dharma practice with diligence. You delight in the practice of the Dharma diligently. And that's actually the definition of diligence, to delight in the practice of virtue. And so then you're here and you're listening to the teachings, and in all your activities, while you're listening to the teachings or while you go around, you sustain mindfulness, awareness, and that becomes the paramita of meditation. So then also in all your activities here, you reflect what is virtue, what is non-virtue, how do my activities, my actions affect others, could this disturb others or not. So reflecting in this way becomes the paramita of wisdom. And so in this way, your coming here naturally becomes a practice of the 6 paramitas. And so if we practice in this way, we really accumulate an incredible amount of merit. And it's very important to also recognize that we are accumulating merit. Because also if in the future we want to continue to enjoy the fruits of our merit over and over again, it is important to recognize the cause of virtue and to accumulate it over and over again. And in this way, dedicate the root of virtue, because otherwise, if we fail to do so, then the virtue that we have accumulated might also become exhausted again. So therefore, it is very important to recognize with great joy the merit that we possess, and then also again and again continue to accumulate such merit.
Tene da yimba jigla karishini dososina sudodo nam yidra konya de Garchen bo chamdo samdo. Kains na ngaran so chudu de na tamjoni parkawa tene tsim mata ba le jumre koloni met. So kama nyamning te samaze ba ina tene ngaran so ke yang koala shimba do mataba tang tene chen de don la che tawa de timba na yinge tene shimba chimbo yongwa tang tanda ke tene jungda nong zhe mangbo ran yin ro ke yong de wa tanda cham do mata dara te lo do nang yu te ya ko gong ta ba ina ma de ran yin ke ma te tan jwa lo ya bo ro sa re je tang dan ro wa te ting ki ba ro wa te ate ji mune ke che mune so to ne ta lo do nang yu te pe me si ba ke nyam ni ji Garchen bo cha da do lo do nang ki ti nang de da bo ma so te che tamjoni pa ka wa se wa te kantar ta tenan rehi ma bo yo re te ta dara marang so ko kap je no mu zo mo do tamjoni pa ka wa ze ta pe chu de ba ta tar pa da tam chi chi bo kong phang la yan do na re ta man min son ro na re ta tena ke nika ko kap yo de ba nang te ni ta dara marang so 물을 좀 보치대 되니 타바도 탄진치 랑야 카주라 있나 교야 고가비 와 되더니 다 담전 니퍼카와 라고 니퍼카와 라고 비준시데 레 라고지 그때 니그 메바인데 다 다른 말한 소 그때 다게 물을 보치대 톱도 요리 대 투드 되니 다때 폴라다 땅마자바 오 땅마게 또 당 karma 레나나야 제 개와 로고 냠니 지고 들어가 상하게 굴홍데 당도 굴홍제 되니 바르도 되게 돌아 달라 다시 해야 돼 같이 참 놓으시.
And then the other thing I wanted to speak about is the 4 thoughts that turn the mind a little bit, because these are really also very important in our practice of the Dharma. And so these are the difficulty of finding a precious human body, the impermanence of this life, impermanence and death, then karma, cause and effect, and the suffering nature of samsara. If we do not practice these reflections, then it will be difficult for us to turn our mind away from our attachment to samsara. Now we have a very strong fixation, a clinging to this life, to the permanence and stability of this life. And due to this attachment, just naturally, many mistakes, many shortcomings, many sufferings come from that attachment. And if we are, on the other hand, able to really internalize the four thoughts that turn the mind well, then just naturally such a person will release this clinging fixation to the affairs of this life. And so for this reason it's very important to reflect on the four thoughts that turn the mind. And among them, the first one is to contemplate the difficulty of finding a precious human body. And of course there is much to be said about that. But what we need to recognize here is the opportunity that this life presents. Having obtained the precious human body, we have an opportunity to practice the Dharma and thereby attain the state of liberation and omniscience. Actually, we have two opportunities. We have an opportunity to go up to the state of liberation, but also this existence is an opportunity to go down into the miserable states of existence, the three lower realms. And of these two possibilities, it is important to use this precious human existence to attain the state of liberation and omniscience, to turn upward instead of downward. And that is because it is a very rare opportunity. It is very difficult to find this precious human body. But now we have obtained it, and therefore it is important to not let it go to waste, but to use our time wisely, to use every moment, every minute that we can to practice virtue, to practice the Dharma. So that is the initial intention that we should develop, and then we must bring this intention to the path and actually implement it.
Make Tonsala Sunubin do ya Yaragun do the Zotam Javan round of Yovare. I saw a Toa Jemaji Chivarins. My sort of Toa Courage Jackie Marisina. Namjin Mata, but so well as some Hira Madam Legends in the Toa Jetago Samarova. Tiana Yink Maran to make Tonsala Garala Burji. Nanying Lola Champoni on a Tata Champo Mipacha de Wano. Yan Nanying Lola Mani Kira Champo Mipa and Yan Tata San Champo Cha de Watan. Tate Tamjin Aran so Soan and Nire in the Yong the Kuyavara. Te Tamji Garel din Yokuyavaris and Mataba din Yokuyavar. Jikin de the Ganke, Mubok Chud, the Tamji, and Jogara Yijiri. Then the thing around so with Chadam Mons around sort of chop up a shoot chimbo, Jin sort of down a shoot chimbo, Jedin Akira. Yalin Ankin at the Lananku Marira Ina, Maranzo Pa repeat that Tashin Jin, pass some down Chadam shoot chimbo, the Jedin Junsin the Shida Mado, Chadam Kurang around some Gokorton Godoa. The line the Madaba to Sogo Gomez, some around so send and Jurates don't wear Garchibura. Then Lankar Kong Kinji, Lina, Lankar the Kalago Tom, Lankar Kong Killer Alero. Tina, in around so Junan Gares seems the same as Jura. Send Jura Mata, telling around so tell you know that Yamish with dead tipo Marikawa and Yamish and Rocky in love, the name Nani Palamala and Ari. Choga the Jimmy in a rate, the solo, the Pesha core, the Yamish in the Pa now said Mumale Jan control chair and out the Danzi chair on the one out, the dad in the day, Koranzoga, or that Jima de Na Pusamare, Japji Pusama Tingerwa. And a chew to Salan draw, said the mother bear and Yinkichi, Huando, Drawando, Ma, Chisogo, Lulu, or Chadevina. Tini Nanga, oh, Taron Logimatic, Tango Saritas. The Rajimatic Tango Saritas, and Soa Tigra. Tini, oh, Malapisha go on, Paria Yamago, Church of Tigro. Tenda in the Chuba at something much about the Yundi or Yundi in the Maranso, long so Jutante, Chusu Karma, Rin and Joatan, the long two guns. Oh, my Lord Jima, the chick again. Oh, my Dawa Jima, the chick again, some of the Pandros Mina, the Nico, the Tabaran Yins, the Matsuko got the Utami, soon I love the Ayomaro, then the
So then next we are thinking about impermanence, and so it happens on an outer level. We can see, for example, the change of seasons from summer to winter and so on. Everything always changes, and often, even though things are constantly transforming and changing, we often lack any recognition of that. We don't really recognize, we don't really notice that things are always changing. And we don't really notice it because we normally don't really reflect much, don't think much about impermanence. But we can really see how it always happens when we look back some time. For example, last year, two people who got along really well do not get along this year. Or two people who didn't get along last year get along really well this year. And then each and every day we can see how things are always different and always change. And things are always different because things are impermanent. Nothing ever stays the way it is. And that's the nature of the world. Everything is constantly changing and transforming. And so if that is the case, then also when we look at our mind, all these thoughts of attachment, aversion and ignorance that we develop, actually, if you really think about it, they are really futile actually. Normally we have this strong attachment to our own purpose and an aversion against others, and we don't really often think much about it, but if you really look closer, actually there's no real reason behind it. There's often there's no reason to be so attached or to have such a strong aversion. We just do it without having any recognition of what we're actually doing. But if you really look closely and analyze what we're doing, why we're having these thoughts of attachment and aversion and ignorance, actually it is these thoughts that are deceiving us, are fooling us all the time. And there's no reason to have these strong fixations in the mind. And so it's important to think in this way. Everything depends on the changing of the mind. For example, if you're driving a car, how the car is driven depends on the driver. So how he drives the car. So what happens on that ride depends on the driver. And so similarly, whatever happens as you go around in your life depends on your mind. So to change the mind, to transform the mind is really significant. And to practice with the mind, because otherwise, for example, we live in a family, and you think, I'm going to practice, I'm going to the center to practice, and then you take the money of your mother or your father or your husband or your wife and you go practice, and then if you come back home even more angry and selfish than before, then they will not going to want to send you again, and they will not support these activities over and over again. But on the other hand, if you come back more peaceful and relaxed and kind after having practiced the Dharma, then they might think, oh, I'm going to send him again next week, next year. And so they will support you in those activities. And you don't even have to ask them, they will actually give it to you, they will send you. So in this way, we day by day and month by month and kind of moment by moment, we practice the Dharma in this way. And that is moment by moment. We cannot really put it off, because some people might think that next year or next month I'm going there to practice. But because everything is impermanent, no one really knows for sure if we will actually have the opportunity to practice at that time. So then, however, we shouldn't just think of impermanence in this negative way, that thinking that later everything will turn bad, but actually bad things can turn good too. For example, if right now you're not feeling so well, your mind is not so happy, or sometimes things happen in your surroundings, there are some difficulties, some problems that you have, then you can also think that's also impermanent, that will change. And then in that sense, impermanence becomes like medicine, actually. So it's really very important, very beneficial to reflect on impermanence. It really can become actually sort of like a protection to your mind. And so then the Buddha's teachings all are included in the four truths, and these are included within two truths. And Rinpoche mentioned that yesterday in his teachings in a very profound and extensive way, and we should remember these instructions again and again. And aside from what Rinpoche said, I have nothing more to add to that, but what Rinpoche taught yesterday is something that we all have in mind, and he mentioned the relative and the ultimate truth. And he said that in particular in the practice of the secret mantra, the Vajrayana, actually the relative truth is extremely important to us. And that is because we have not yet become liberated from that relative state of existence. So now we are speaking about the ultimate level, but that is our true nature already. Our true nature is stainless, flawless, and completely pure. And because this is what our natural state is, we don't actually have to create it. We don't have to fix anything, so we don't have to do anything to the ultimate truth. And we don't have to work with the ultimate truth, because that's what we already are. And what we need to do now, and what we need to work with, is the relative truth that we are still stuck in a way. And in order to work with it, we have to purify that which is not natural to us, the afflictive emotions and self-grasping, our ignorance. And to do that, the Buddha taught a path of many skillful means, and that is the path of the secret mantra, the Vajrayana. And yesterday Rinpoche therefore mentioned that is why the relative truth to us is extremely important, very precious. So normally we have a habit of putting a lot of hope and pay a lot of attention to the ultimate truth. But on the relative level, for as long as we have not purified the impurities of the mind, we cannot recognize the ultimate. And once we have purified these relative temporary stains, we will actually naturally see the ultimate truth, because that is our natural state. We already are that. That is our true nature. The only difference is that we have not yet recognized what we really are. We have not recognized it because of being obscured by the afflictive emotions. And the Buddha also himself had said, all perceived flaws are not the flaws of a person, but they only arise due to the temporary defilement of the afflictive emotions. So it is just a temporary cover or defilement, but not our true natural state. But because that is the relative reality that we are stuck in, we first have to remove these temporary defilements, the afflictive emotions. And it's very important, therefore, to recognize them, to know that. But then it's not enough to just know that. We also have to then do things about it. We have to purify those afflictive emotions, in simple terms. So the ultimate truth is something that we already are. It is our innate nature. So therefore it would be good to recognize all these instructions that we have received yesterday.
Tene so ke yedam dorje pe panyam te sangha knyam chadre barwa te den rewa yopokon tene ta sangha ka lamnam jukpa ke lamnam juksur namba chö samyore te to ta mo tu junze hyubeni jukpa chö tene ne tambo te karis nam ko wang ki se songkyore maran so ke kazan ba chek son sa tara wang te susola rāngwāng yūpa tanda rī sōng sōng tēn tū ngā rāng tsū tā wāng tē kāntar xio kāpsa wāng tē xio kāpsa wāng kā nāndūng tē hā kō kō tā Garchen bō 왕 그 난동데 소소가 하고 송바이나 되네 왕도 토고요 봐 되네 조반지 빈숨이 공부게 들라 숨고요 봐래 되게 김생게 고왕기세 숨고요 되네 소 담색도 송소래 이바데라 소 담색도 담색도 나네 대에 민가 타 심바 타토바리가 가치는 거지 양수 송고요 어째 담색도 와데 산juk 세미 소래 다 때나 내가 하려고 요럴 때 따때 때 메시바게 산축 생각 용딩게 저저거 담세는 가서 그 송아이나지 송 터바다 송 시바게 대나게 내단지린도와 된데 상하가 담세때 소 담세 송 저다 소 존데 간다 마소다 제 자와 다 소치기라고 돼 자기 여러 가지 대인데 되네 상하다 소 담색 송스 되네 다 다베주 송마데 스마리 다 다베주 라야데 다 따고거네 말은 소리지 다 따와 통보 찾아 진보라서 받다 소그 따와데 다 지나다가 고문이지를 때 일단 말은 소지 이 양다가 따와는 차이 봐이나야지 레전드 나야데 타치도 요리 사야라고지 니히라고 데미데는지 샘땡이 좋아요 보통네 그나지 그런 놈세 레전드 리저 칸에 제 라데바나기 라린 참아들이 될 것도 소와이나 되니 소소를 니바다마다 제발 니바다라 찬로데 되니 다라데 제단 그 다다베 주라야 돼 따와 통보이나야 다다베 주 토고 요리 때 되니 따와 때서 마보이나야 되니 다다베 주고요 바레스 되니 이바데라 라 주베 도르스 저런 따와 통보가 세 요바이나야 야 주바데 지르는 뭐도 뜬 거요 지르는 뭐도 뜬 라파르그 제 소소그 쪼랑로 소소그 진시지 소소그 셈라 소소 다보자 소소그 나라 소소 다보자 소소그 zupo로 소소 다보자 다 간다 때려와 인노 입제 빵라 맞아 짬비 돈바 해보네 가서 인노 입제 빵라야 돼 요래 짬비 돈바 인미 입제 접라야 돼 요래 간다 띵안에 라 주베 돌라 간다 띵안에 로야래 그래서 다 맞서 상하냐는 지디 담보네 거제 야 통보는 협여바이나 소소를 되게 내봐당 체 등체도 요바이나 이렇게 요래서 되게 등체도 요다미 소소소소 딱제 돈 등체도 못도나 되네 남준 주랑 해해 들어왔지 저 첨부 작업으로 어텐데 이게 받을 라주베 도르스 되네 냠띵이 진지랑 다 띵이 진데 때 메시바게 가르침보 가와이는 2% 바 그냥이나요 맞서 시내라서 바꾸면 요 띵인지도 믿음으로 그래. 말라미 되발아야 띵인지도 믿음으로. 맞서 따라 나된 콜로 나오지나 대 콜지 나오대 띵인지. 대 콜로 콜지 나오대 띵인지. 대인데 나요. 하게 인저대서 맞서게 콜로는 이나 대 콜로도 콜지 나오대 따라대 띵인지 차도 여러 대중생계 냠 땡인지 랑스 냠스네야 돼. 되네 다라 tropa데 도밍아 사미트스. 다 밍아 도밍아 사미트 라야데 다 가르쳐버렸으나 밍아 라야데 지단 그치 맞어게 같이 송바고 마 송대와다 님바고 니인데와데 대상그 밍아 차고요 말. 밍아 라야데 지단 라마는 거 뜨던 나바 근데 숨어요다. 배는 같이는 보지는 뜨던 나바 근데 민가 송을다 송바 참아 민가리라 쳐요. 이는 소소 그때 민가니도 린다면 소소라래. 소소 그때 남더니 대 민가 된도 대대린다 선대 세는 양팀한테 민가 차로요. 대인데 동 민가 선물접스 사모라야 돼. 그 땡선 뭐 진짜로 주 투베터스 다데 도마데 맞아 그 추 마트 발라 양 맞아 그 란더시라 히아칼레가 버테 공무비 내 절다고 저와 맞아 그 다라데 답을 탈지나나 예 진개비시니 탑대 당 내어서 산지 들어서요. gebhini de karachin tsa chimborisina tso ke churon ngarang chola sanje shakya toba lo nidong tujang la jagan prapo yon ngombar zo sanjin king te ke son yalik dara minga dangwa chude dara ngarang zo amchon na chal lo yo tu zo de ngarang zo te cha tu yo de ma tu ba ina de ma tu ba na ma so ke te 냠 스린당데 따따 랑가데 따따 로히 너야 깔레 카보이 랑가데 따따 마송바이는 참산데니 두추는 봉거로야다 상제야다 상제야다 파요 상초스 뭐 공방다 되니 니랑 가지고 뭐 공방토야라 두추는 봉거로야 된 참상 알아서 부발제 나야를 하로라 참사제 닌투지 공방 현내게 대화 장주지는 나 사자 친구 또 성시 나 조바 친구 또 성시 들어 되나 소소소소 권을 탄 거야. 그래서 참아 아 부박 하로 저러러 때 하로는 다 권을 탔어. 대다라데 제바 좀 차선
부박 뭐라 그랬어?
부박 담배 하로 나 기타제 권을 탔어 안들 이미
코로카라 탑선.
아
네, 담배 찾자는 거나?
다 가르라고 건데라 지 소속 배는 나 당하고 지르와 다 추참아 희도 상 다들 다 뭐는 희요 말아 추참 소소 송고고라는 이차들다 소소 송고고라는 이차로 대라고 했어요 하로
이 편다 참 하려면 참자.
다 대변나 오늘 좀 난도들라 인투 그 공판도 탑소와이나 인투 공판라나 그래서 인투 그 공판도 특징이 카히트나 되모르 배나 희네 공킨 희네 야부 공킨도 속에 줌미케 따라테 삼딘 기바 삼딘 줌미 삼딘 예요 삼딘 기바데 더블 값서 대 다오 나게 카톡 톱자 용수 좀 봐. 톱송 디피는 당만로 삼이 된다. 그런스트나 되게도 다트나 되더니 갈래 때 그런 거 수남들 용수 주더니 녀와지가 수남들 막 좋은도 수남 좋다데 다 그런스 다 하고가 되다. 다 뭐뭐 대피나 다른 산지지 공방진도 와. 뭐 그러네. 사람 뭐 가. 다른 거에 근데 그 대파 탐지 찍다 저 상하냠스린 저도 나 상하냠린 바인다 시스티윈다 라원 휴다 서로 따라다 말이다 참아도 넘바 산제밖에 대파 탐지 그 인고라고 돼 색찍도 저는 냠스린 시고 아저 대대 중세계 그 대파 탐지 찍다 저 근데 제대로 십자 당시 총리들하고 드나성도 십자라는데 저당 그 시적인 내가 망보여를 간단 냠링 그러 봤대 딱딱고 만얼바 다 저서 담지 잡고요 봐 드나
구바를
대구바에서
그래서 13만 원 가지고
희한테 그바요
구바를
되니다 주바데 다 그런서 참아 간다서 소동제 말로 이제다
고단 받쳐는 지야
그거 답습네 쩌라서
그랬다나
누가 쩌라서
다나 골락차가 위 주바데 참아 소동
소동도 단단한
So now we are practicing we are engaging in a practice of the Yida Vajrakilaya, which is a practice of the secret mantra, the Vajrayana. And there are actually 10 ways in which we should engage in the path of Vajrayana practice. So I will briefly introduce you to those 10 ways of engaging in this practice. The first one is, number one, is in the beginning, there is the empowerment. And yesterday, Rinpoche explained that the essence of the empowerment is to gain a freedom, like an independence, a freedom from the empowerment. And he also said that, actually Jigten Sungben also had said that in order to receive the empowerment, you need to understand the inner meaning of the empowerment. So once that is understood, you have actually received the empowerment. So number one is to receive the empowerment. Number two is the life force is to guard the samaya. And now regarding the samaya, the ultimate instruction on that, also Garchen Rinpoche mentioned that over and over again when he speaks about the root samaya. The root samaya, which is like the life force, is bodhicitta. And so on the one hand it seems to be something in a way not very complicated. It's something that anyone can do. Anyone can practice keeping bodhicitta, sustaining bodhicitta. So that is what we call the life force, that is the samaya. Life force because it is like essential, like the root, the most important. So that is the second point. Third point is to decide upon the view with certainty. And now in terms of speaking of the view, often we speak about the high view, the view that is Mahamudra that you might be familiar with. But even on a more mundane level, there is a correct and authentic worldly view, which is to have a certainty in karma, cause and effect. And that is a complete conviction, a confidence in that. And that is really important, because if we just have some knowledge about it, we might speak about karma, we give it lip service, but in our activities that is not really reflected, and then there is contradiction in what we say and what we do. And then that makes us be no different than just an ordinary person. And so of course if one is able to see in the highest of views, then one should decide upon that. But even if not on that level, one should decide upon that correct, authentic view of karma. Then the fourth point is to this engaging in decisive conduct, and that is, or kind of decisive measured conduct, and that is in one's conduct, even though one might possess a high level of view, in one's conduct on the outer level, one should act in accordance with the ordinary people around one. So actually, in terms of the conduct actually conforms with how it is taught in the refuge vow. And that is, we guard our body and our speech and our mind in our conduct. In our conduct, we refrain from causing any harm towards others, and we accomplish the benefit of others as much as we can. So that is to engage in the proper conduct. And so in particular now in the practice of the Vajrayana, of course if one is able to dwell in this highest of views, and if one really has a certainty in that, if you really find that you have a certain ability to abide within this highest of views, then that is fine. But wherever you are at is something you have to really examine for yourself by looking at your own mind. Do you really have that confidence? And for as long as you do not have the confidence at all times of the highest view in one's conduct, it is always important to remain peaceful and subdued. That's number 4. Number 5 is the practice must be the path of samadhi. And that is also important actually in the sutra vehicle of the paramitas. Here when we practice calm, abiding and so forth, the development of a state of meditative absorption, of concentration, or a state of samadhi is really essential. And it is also essential or indispensable in the practice of the Vajrayana. And also, for example, in the Vajrayana, in the practices where we visualize a mantra wheel, like a mantra garland, the mantra string, the turning of the mantra string, for example, also involves a stable state of samadhi. So the experience, the practice is samadhi. Then number 6 is to practice, to cultivate the meaning of the profound pith instructions. So the pith instruction is actually unlike just an ordinary teaching. So when somebody teaches the Dharma and somebody just listens to that, that not necessarily in itself is a pith instruction. And actually, Garchen Rinpoche, for example, always teaches on that. And in fact, everything that Rinpoche says, in a way, is a pith instruction. But what becomes a pith instruction to us depends on ourselves, actually. If we receive it as a pith instruction or not, depends on ourselves. So if you listen to the instructions and you find that this is a crucial point, and you keep that in mind, you keep that with you, you hold on to that, then this instruction to you becomes a pith instruction. And that is because you then practice this instruction, and therefore it becomes profound. So you're practicing the profound pith instruction. That is number 6. Number 7 is to liberate your mind stream through hearing. If you do not hear the Dharma, if you haven't heard the Dharma, then it will be difficult to know what to do and what not to do. And that's really how things are. For example, in the jewel ornament of liberation, it says, the condition is the spiritual teacher, the method are the teacher's instructions, and the fruition is the attainment of perfect and complete enlightenment. So why is the spiritual teacher so important? Now the Buddha Shakyamuni was alive around 2,600 years ago, and at that time in the noble land of India he attained perfect enlightenment. And now, all these years later, it is the spiritual teacher who places the instructions of the Holy Dharma in the form of pith instructions, in the form of oral instructions. He places these instructions, these words, into our ears, so we hear them. If we do not hear them, then it will be very difficult for us to practice them properly. And it will be very difficult to really progress along the path of practice in a proper way. And that being the case, then it will take a very long time to attain the state of enlightenment. And not even that, it will even take a long time to attain any of the other states, like of a hearer or a solitary realizer of an arhat and so on. And that is because we often feel, in a way, a sense of a complacement. We feel I already know it. In Tibetan, there is this term like halo, which apparently encompasses a lot of meaning, and that is basically you're fooling yourself. So, for example, you think that I have understood it all. I understand Mahamudra or Dzogchen. I know the Dharma, but actually you don't really know. You think you know. Or, for example, if you're a hearer, an arhat, and so on, and you practice shamatha, calm abiding, and then you attain a certain level of concentration. There are 4 levels of the formless concentration, and so one who attains the highest, the 4th level of concentration of meditative absorption, they might think that at that point I have reached the highest point and there is nothing higher to achieve. I have achieved the ultimate. And then they just dwell within that state. And for some time they enjoy dwelling in that state, but eventually the merit of that also will become exhausted. And then it becomes clear that they have fooled themselves. So this is this term halo. And so that's number 7. Number 8 is to combine into one, to bring together into one the essence of all the vehicles. And now, for example, if you're a Vajrayana practitioner and you say that I'm a Vajrayana practitioner, that means I can do whatever I want. I have all the freedom. And everything else you can disregard. So it's not at all like that. Whatever vehicle you practice, it is important that you bring them all into one. So all of the vehicles are practiced within one vehicle. That's number 8. And number 9 is there are many knowable things, many crucial points to be known on the path, and it is important to practice them gradually and unmistakably. And then number 10 is basically bringing together all of the 9 points of practice. So these are the 10 ways of engaging in the Vajrayana path. And then how and where do we engage this path? It is engaged in a context of a Drupchen practice, for instance. And then for the Drupchen, the Drupchen or the great accomplishment has an outer aspect. The outer aspect, for example, is to arrange a mandala and a shrine and so on, a support. Then the inner great accomplishment is, for instance, the recitation of the mantra. And the secret accomplishment is the visualization of the deity, the generation stage, and the completion stage, the meditation on the deity. So for now, first we take a break, and when we come back, I will continue to explain this to the best of my abilities.